Don't buy a Porsche project car thinking you're gonna save money. You're not going to. You're gonna end up spending just as much money as you would have buying a car that was already sorted out by somebody else. This is pretty much the case for any classic car. It's more so with these Porsches. And I'll get into some details in this video about the cost to refresh certain components of these cars. Buy the best car that you can buy is a statement that is absolutely true. It's really fun to be involved in the process of bringing a car back to life, and you know, I would imagine that many of you guys fall into that category and you enjoy that, which of course nothing that I'm going to say here is going to sway you from doing that. You will save some labor if you do work yourself, and you can save a little bit of money, especially if you get the car at a good price and you know, maybe you are really patient in finding parts and all that kind of stuff. But generally speaking, let's say you can buy a pretty good car for 80 grand, but you choose to buy one for 50 that needs a little bit more. You know, that can easily turn into a car that needs 40 grand. That's the whole point of this video. And if you've never restored one of these cars, this is just kind of a warning. You know, that may happen, and you know, you may still be happy with your decision if you enjoy the process and you get more. Well, if you're the type of person that gets more out of, you know, just kind of putting your hands to the projects, then more power to you. I think it's cool and it's great. But if you're doing this because you think it's going to save you a ton of money, my point is that you're probably not going to. At the end of the project, you're probably going to realize, shit, I should have just bought in the car that was already done, because I paid the same amount or more. You know, yeah. It's pretty much a general rule of thumb. Let somebody else pay all the costs for the labor and the parts and all that kind of stuff. And once it's a package, you know, you get the price a little bit cheaper. Learning a trade or a skill is valuable. I find it valuable, and that's part of the reason why I do a lot of my own work, well, as much as I can. I don't do any paint and body. Those guys that do paint and body work, and you're doing that in your garage, you're a freaking hero. Like, that work is so difficult. I have so much respect for people that are willing to take on a project where they're fixing rust and doing paint and body in the garage. Obviously, if you have a background, it helps. I have a lot of respect for people that do their own work. And if you don't do your own work, it's not like, you know, it's not like you're less than or anything like that. It's just a personal thing for me. If I get going down the highway or I'm somewhere on a big trip and my car breaks down, I want to be able to fix it myself. You know, I want to at least have as many tools and skills as I'm able to fix, you know, something if it breaks. And it's kind of like a sense of pride. It's probably something I learned as, you know, growing up. Just really appreciate the ability to just kind of do things yourself. A project car is rarely going to be as expected. It's almost certainly going to cost way more money, and it's going to take a lot more time than anticipated. I'm currently going through it on 2 cars, and I've been through it on this car. Whenever you get a project car, you have a certain expectation of how things may go. Unless you're a very experienced builder or you own a restoration, you know, shop, when you buy a project car, you're hopefully making like an educated guess, right? So you don't know if the car is going to have rust in certain areas. Like, there's the area up underneath that rear shelf or up underneath the rear seats that could be rusted. There's parts that are hard to identify when you're kind of scoping out a car that you may buy. You could buy a car that you think is going to cost you $25,000, and that is maybe the cost alone for the engine rebuild, for example, or maybe there was a lot of rust and you didn't think the car had that. Let's look at my project cars really quick. Now here's what my Targa looked like when I bought it. You know, the car looked pretty square. Now mine was a race car, and I knew that it had been hit, so there was some damage in the front a little bit. But according to the previous owner, the car was pulled straight and it tracked down the road. I drove the car at a track one time and drove it on a few occasions on back roads because it wasn't plated. But the car tracked down the road fine. When I let go of the steering wheel, I mean, this car was straight. It was aligned and corner balanced, and it drove actually phenomenal. But look at this car. I mean, yes, I know it's a Targa with a roll cage in it, but it's still cool. And the thing, you can see that the potential, the lines look pretty good. The gaps are not perfect, but all in all, it's a good looking car. Let's look at it now. Oh, oh. This looks like a droid from a Star Wars movie that's been cut into pieces and is being scrapped. That thing looks terrible. You think that I was thinking that my car was gonna look like that at some point when I bought it? I thought it was gonna be great. I thought the car was straight. I figured I'll cut the cage out. I'll weld a couple patches in. I already, you know, we'll be good to go. We'll put some seals in it. Okay, let's look at my other car, my 912. I figured, hey, you know, all things are gonna go well. In fact, on the 912, let's go back to a clip of me the day I got the car home. At this point, I'm very confident this car is gonna just fire up. Dude, I told Roman, I said, dude, we might take this to dinner tonight. Now it's been 5 months. I've got at least 1,200 or 1,300 hours into the car. That's not an exaggeration. Thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in parts. And yeah, take a look at my engine. Yeah, how's that looking? That looks like I was banking on it running, and I was dead freaking wrong. I talked about it several times on this channel during the process of bringing it back to life about the fact that I knew that that motor was gonna run. I've got this like Porsche sickness, whatever the heck you want to call it. I love these cars so much. It is expensive, it's a challenge, but I think that anything that's worth doing is difficult. There's a huge range in the prices on these cars, if you haven't noticed. You know, you can get a pretty good car for $70,000, $80,000. You can get a really sweet car for $200,000. So, you know, there's obviously a huge range there. The $50,000 car that's good, man, it must be your uncle, because they're not really out there anymore. You know, and by the time you know, maybe you get your top end rebuilt, you had to have a little bit of rust done, you put new wheels and tires, suspension, brakes, wheel bearings. You go through all the mechanicals. Hopefully you don't have any wiring issues. You know, just the lighting. You know, just to give an example, the lenses on my 72, if I want Bosch lenses, like $1,500, and that's not the housings. That's just the lenses. With all that said, if you enjoy restoring a car or you like working in the garage, then go for it. You know, if it's something that you think you're gonna get a lot out of, then do it. I've got a ton of content on these air-cooled Porsches, and I'm gonna have some other content here coming up that'll be involved with motorcycles or cars in some way. But you can subscribe if you guys like. Leave me a thumbs up and a comment, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.